Welcome in to DC On Screen episode 172. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
Today we are going to get super spoilery on Legends of Tomorrow 114, River of Time. To recap, the team has captured Vandal Savage. Rip figures out that Savage's giant robot tech was from the future, so he now has righteous cause to stop Savage since he's manipulating time. He wants to take Savage to the Time Council. Snart and Rory want to return to 2016, because they don't like that idea, while Sara struggles with the fact that Rip would sell the team out to save his own family, since Rip may have sent Jax on a Deadly Years-type suicide mission that he himself should have taken. Kendra tries to get a captured Carter to remember their lives together, while Ray anguishes over what might happen if Carter does remember, thanks to a conversation with Savage. Professor Stein figures out that to save Jax and de-age him, he has to send him back to 2016, thereby screwing Snart and Rory over in their desires to return. Upon arriving at the Vanishing Point, Rip is arrested and Savage is sent back to his time, as the Time Masters have been in league with Savage the entire time. So what did you think of this episode, Jason?
Enjoyed it. Always do. As weird as they get, I usually like them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I have. A lot of people know that I mean, you know, I'm starting to get the Legends of Tomorrow haters like sympathizing with me on Twitter, and I don't hate this show. I don't. I just don't like it as much as Jason does. Yeah. In fact, Bob78741 on Twitter says, "How about that episode of Legends? Pretty much back to square one. Kind of a bummer."
That is my only gripe about the episode.
That's my gripe about the entire show. The entire series has been square one. They've never left square one.
Well, and it's been a series of getting back to square one. It's just like square one times square one times square one, which I'm pretty sure is going to be one.
The show right now is just spectacle. That's all they do.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I don't like that, though. I like spectacle, but I like there to actually be story and character development. And even, like, last week we got, like, a little bit like, okay, Kendra's finally, like, good and blah, 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 and her and Ray, and then, oh, here's Carter. And now this week, what do we have?
Yeah, no. Hopefully they've summed it up, though. Like, Ray looked pretty damn done with that.
Right? And he should be. She's flip-flopped enough for both of them.
Yeah. The most level-headed person right now should say, look, you're going through a lot, and we need to kind of call it for a second. We need to figure out what's going on.
And he, like, comes down, he sees her, like, okay, like, she's already gotten too close to Carter, knowing that he's brainwashed, and he, like, pins her with his legs, and Ray has to, like, take him down.
Yeah.
And as soon as Ray walks out, she does it again. Like, idiot.
Yeah.
She's, like, caressing him and reading, and, like, reciting a friggin' poem and shit. Like,
right.
And then she's like, Ray, it's not what it looks like.
It's exactly what it looked like.
It totally is.
Completely, absolutely is.
So anyway, that was my big annoyance of the episode. That and, Rip back in Egypt in the prison. He can barely stand. He looks starved and beaten, but still has perfect hair. Whatever.
Well, his hair is just kind of a greaseback situation anyway, and he hasn't showered in weeks, so I assume he's just keeping that pulled back.
Yeah,
he hasn't had food, he hasn't
parted.
had water. Surely he's just dealing with his hair as a coping mechanism.
Right. Like, I comb my hair, and by the time I'm out to the car, it's bad again. It's just everywhere.
Right.
Whatever.
No, actually, though, my there's a ton of stuff in this episode I loved, but there's one thing I really didn't like. And look, the gripe about, hey, we never quite get anywhere with the show, that's just an ongoing thing. This episode, though, did anything happen? Did I miss something? Because it looked a lot like Carter and Vandal Savage took out the rest of the crew, and then Carter suddenly remembers who he is.
Yeah.
At the speed of plot. Just goes, oh yeah, I should be fighting him.
Mm-hmm. I think it was something about, which I get, that makes sense on some level. Like, it was something about, like, seeing Savage about to kill Shiara that, like, snapped it back into his...
That's what I was hoping.
Himself.
It just seemed so damn sudden and convenient,
I bought it because it was, the trauma of it.
But, and still, it's, like, he literally, like, wrestles her and brings her to Vandal. Like, and then just suddenly realizes that's not mean, he helped.
I know. But, I mean, she suddenly decided she loved him when he died, so...
I know.
It's real dumb.
They have not been... they've not been... yeah. We've expressed our Hulk-related problems.
They're not the timeliest of rememberers.
No.
I'll say that.
No. They do it in a way that's a little too convenient sometimes to not take a look at.
No, so you know what I loved though?
What's that?
A lot of the dialogue in this episode. What? We just kill Savage and leave Carter a brainless drone?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I loved Savage telling Rip, "You showed a caveman fire, and I had 200 years to learn how to strike a flame."
Mm-hmm.
I love the entire Savage Rip conversation. You weep for your son. I have held dozens of my children as they perish from old age.
Mm-hmm.
You are a time master. I am a master of time, and I play a much deeper game than you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, for the first time, I liked Vandal Savage.
Yeah. I mean, I've liked a lot of what he's done.
Great.
But he didn't... that growl, that kind of growl you keep making fun of, it wasn't in his voice. It was just crisp this week.
Yeah. I mean, sure, he still doesn't know how to say Shiara's name. He's still Shiara.
Yeah, he kind of spits it. But yeah, man. So am I understanding this correctly, though? In her second lifetime, they actually did fall in love? Was it?
He claims that... See, I was perplexed. Maybe in the second lifetime or maybe the first.
I couldn't tell which one it was, but apparently they did actually have some time together before. Like, he was trying to relate to Ray on that level. Like she's done this to me too, dude. She's always going to go back to him. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the thing I loved the most about the episode.
What?
And I have a question about that caveman fire thing I'm going to ask you in a second, but I'm just too excited about Ray being brutal.
Yeah, Ray was brutal and it was awesome.
It was great. Oh,
yeah,
man.
It was great.
That's a smart guy. He just didn't care this week. He was ready to punch somebody.
I dug it.
But my question about the caveman fire thing. All right, so the 1975 visit.
Mm-hmm.
And is that the one with... That's not the one with the warheads, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Was it? Where he sees him in the room the first time and you see this gleam in Vandal's eye?
Mm.
That's the one where Dark was there trying to buy the warhead too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the scene they were referring to. But I didn't go back and look, I'm sorry. But so in that visit, Vandal hasn't fucked with time until Rip started fucking with time. So, I mean, yeah, he can go turn in Savage for using future tech in a past instance, but didn't Rip start it? Like, isn't it his fault ultimately?
Yeah, which is what I thought they were going to go with that before they revealed that Savage was in league with them.
Yeah.
Like, no, you did this, you idiot. You did this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought they might both go to jail, something like that. Like, Rip gets back there, and then the ship is, I guess, in Sarah's hands now.
When did she become a pilot?
I don't know.
I guess whenever
the ship
Jax
seems to have one control. It's an Atari, essentially.
By the way, that was bad too, I have to admit. For all the good that father storyline did to redeem Jax, and that guy, Drama's acting, man... When he starts aging, he just becomes a caricature. He's like, "Damn it, Gray! I can't do it. I'm like, dude, okay. First of all, they said you were the equivalent of 63. You realize that Stein is 67,
right?
Like, the actual actor who plays Stein is 67. Why are you hunched over and acting ridiculous?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Stein was lucky enough to avoid arthritis while he aged, but I guess aging quickly doesn't help. I don't know.
When you age quickly, you have to talk with a ridiculous affectation. That means you're old. Like,
it did. It bothered me.
What are you doing?
We were. It was so close to being good. Like last week with the father, yeah, all that stuff was good. And then, man, it looked like a young guy trying to pretend he was an old guy. It wasn't. Mm-hmm. It was weird.
And my girlfriend Bethany was like, so, I like how they're like, hey, there's nothing we could do for Jax. He's the equivalent of 63. And he's like, I don't feel a day over 60. Ha 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 ha. Like, right. Stop making jokes. You're dying. Why are you not worried about dying?
No, the one great line out of him this week, you roofied me again?
That was fun.
And Stein's...
That was fun.
Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, seriously, we're doing this again? This is what we're doing again? Stein, you've got to stop. Like, you've got a problem, buddy. You can't... No does not mean yes, Stein. Yeah. Man, He does have a good explanation. Yeah, last time I did it for me, though. This time I'm doing it for you. Okay, well that's great. But you've still got really dubious ideas of consent, Stein, that are not
Well,
not comforting.
Back in the day, Stein was pretty popular.
Apparently,
got hooked up with Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Learned some bad lessons early on.
Some bad lessons about Jello.
Right. Now Felicity hopping on the show. And now she might have the best line. Don't let his general broodiness fool you. He can be quite chatty sometimes. Talking about Oliver. Yeah, like the Felicity being in there for a second. The her and Palmer stuff was pretty great.
Yeah, I don't know when that could have happened, but
I'm still trying to figure out
anyway.
exactly how. Yeah, but I mean, was that while he was deciding to leave? He had an extra minute.
Well, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't remember enough.
I think when Oliver and Ray were talking, it was nighttime. So maybe, and this was nighttime too. So maybe he just had that conversation, decided he was definitely going to do it, hopped over to Felicity's or his building, I guess at the time.
Yeah.
And dropped off a note saying, "Hey, take it from here."
Maybe. I don't know.
But apparently, gossipy old Oliver had gotten immediately on the phone with Felicity.
Gossipy old Oliver.
Yeah, but at that point, Felicity wasn't in a chair, so.
Yeah.
So yeah,
at that
even
point
that
there was a bit where we were like, well, why didn't Ray be like, hey man, how's Felicity or something?
Yeah.
Because she had just gotten shot when this started. So when Legends started, she had just been shot. Oliver was running rampant, like taking down Hive people, the Ghost or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what he was doing when Ray like shows up and been like, hey, I've got an opportunity to go blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. So I guess she would have been paralyzed, but I don't think she was like riding around in a chair yet. That's what I was thinking, but I don't know. I guess they weren't.
We're deeply losing track of this timeline at this point.
Yeah, whatever, man.
And I'm not sure it's entirely our fault.
Yeah, no.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't think so.
I'm sure we're missing some stuff, but damn, it's getting complicated.
I loved Snart's. Well, I just love Snart. But when he says to Jax, he says, "We're not waiting around for the other shoe to drop." And then he like looks very seriously at Jax and says, "You deserve better."
Right.
Like I was just like, "Oh, Snart, you do have a heart."
Right. We had that wonderful conversation.
Don't kid yourself, man. Don't kid yourself. He was playing cards with Sara. Man, they're building something with him.
I mean, they're just trapped
Something's
on a ship
going
together.
on with him and Sara. They always put those two together. Always put Snart and Sara together. I mean, hopefully, they might just make them friends, but I feel like they're leading up to something else.
Right.
Because it's CW, and they can't help themselves.
Yeah. I know. I'm accepting my fate. I just don't want to do it.
Maybe they'll just let them be friends. I don't know.
I'm fine with them just being pals, though. Like, just ass-kicking pals together. Oh,
when did the Nissa prison scene happen?
The Nissa prison scene. I don't know about that one either. All of the stuff where people are talking to people, I have no idea. I don't know if they took like day leave and went back to their. I don't know. But all right, here's the thing: the show will be confusing like that, and I'll be thinking, "Oh, when did that happen? How can I fit that into the timeline? What am I missing? Blah blah blah." And then there'll just be some wonderful line like, "All right, they're in the hallway fight. Savage comes around the corner and says like, I'm Vandal Savage, blah, 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 whatever the hell he is.
Destroyer of Empires.
Destroyer of Empires. Snart's precision.
Leonard Snart, robber of ATMs.
Confuse me all you want, show. Just give me lines like that.
Oh, man.
Kind of like the bit about, Savage wondering for however many years it's been, for a few hundred years or whatever it was, like, still trying to figure out how he got out of that prison. I liked that bit until they took it away from me. Mm-hmm. Like, I bribed him with a souvenir pin. And I've had one of those little souvenir pins before. You turn it upside down, and she's in a bikini or whatever. Mm-hmm. Depending on where you buy it, she's in different clothing or not. Mm-hmm. It was a neat, stupid thing where, like, he's been wondering all this time, and then, like, Rory finally has him, or Rip finally has him. Sorry, dear God. I actually went with Rory there. All right, so Rip finally has him and gets to tell him. Like he enjoyed having that secret himself, and he finally reveals the secret. And then there was just no point. It was just Savage fucking with him again, because he has the long view of history. Mm-hmm.
And he still has the pin, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know why he got the pin back.
That guard died. Blah blah blah. And you have a pin. I have a pin now. I have that pin. That exact pin that you gave to that guard. I took it because I like topless women.
Right. Just kept it on him all these years.
She reminded me of Chihira.
And something else that's kind of a little weird about this episode. Think about it. He's got the pin on him. Has he been, since Savage was captured, has he been anywhere other than their prison and then now with the Time Masters? Did he have a chance to stop over and grab that pin anywhere? Because otherwise that means that he had that pin on him the whole time, that he does carry that thing around with him, and that they didn't bother searching Vandal Savage before they put him in the cell.
Yeah. I assume that the Time Masters let him fly to go get the pin. I sincerely hope that was the case. Otherwise, I think he was hiding it somewhere that I don't want to think about.
Or they just didn't do a good enough search, which seems ridiculous. I don't know.
I really hoped the caveman fire thing was an allusion to him actually being a caveman at some point, because he was in the comics. He was a caveman. He wasn't an Egyptian.
I know. I think it's just going to end up being a "there's your nod, you're welcome, and you're out" kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get anything else, but it did delight me to hear him say you showed a caveman fire because of exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I haven't seen previews. Do you know what's happening to Jax? Have you seen the preview for the next one?
Let's see.
Are we going to be Jaxless for a second?
I think I did look at the preview, but it didn't really show me anything.
Oh, okay.
Let me glance at it real quick, make sure.
Yeah, we'll find out. What is it? Mick says they come to arrest him, and like Mick appears to be pretty lit. Well, for most of the episode, really. Apparently, he's just hanging out next to his gun. The ship they come on, and what do they tell him? Like, you're under arrest or something, and he reaches for his gun almost playfully, like, ha. And then kind of puts his hand back down. Like, if I had a nickel for every time.
Yep. That was good. You have no idea how many times I've heard that or whatever it was.
It was a
maybe it was a nickel for every time.
It was a nickel.
Maybe it was. Maybe. Yeah, it was. You're right.
More than that, I just liked how he reached for his gun like it was a game. Like, you gonna shoot me? Yeah, I guess you're gonna shoot me. It was weird.
There was something I laughed at with Snart where like Rory was like, "Why don't snacks of the future have any sugar?"
Yeah.
I don't remember what Snart said.
No, it was Mick says there's no sugar in snacks of the future or something.
Right. Mick said that, and whatever made me laugh was what Snart replied with, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, neither. Well, Snart's over there brooding about, remember that other heist, blah blah blah. Everything turned bad. Yeah, and if you hadn't said something, we would have still been there. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling now. Well, I did laugh. They turned back to Mick, and he's got like food hanging out of his mouth. Yep. Another good one out of him was I forget when he says like tell your buddies Kronos said hi.
So yeah, something like tell the Time Masters Kronos says kiss my ass or something.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah. It was right at the very end, pretty much.
I mean, if every week if I wrote down every Mick and Snart line that I like, that's just all my notebook would be. It's Mick and Snart lines. Yeah. I'll just have nothing but their dialogue going on.
That is how that works. So I think that's all I have, man.
Yeah, me too. 2 more episodes.
2 more episodes. So I have to just say this. I have this written down. I wrote down, and we already talked about it, but I wrote down, "Damn, Ray, beat that ass."
Right. The Beast.
He was good. Anyway.
It's fun to watch him get angry.
Yeah. I guess. Thank you very much for watching DC. Listening to DC on Screen. This ain't no video cast, y'all.
Nobody wants a video cast.
DC on Screen. You can find every episode on DCOnScreen.com. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever pods are caught. We are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com, for all of those wonderful shows, including our sister show, the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, hosted by our friends Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall. Our next episode will be getting into the weekly news, as we do. So until then, keep some DC on your screen. Keep it on your screen, DC.
100 years DC.
DCOnScreen.com.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.